Konstantin Malkov, private blog.
Hello comrades, so today we're going to drive around Moscow, the capital of Russia, and we're going to show you the traffic around, we're going to show you the places just from the car. And what we're going to use car sharing. Let's roll. In Moscow, it is very easy to rent a car exactly from the streets. What you need to do, you need to download the application on your cell phone, register there. I think some applications provide English services too. Book a car, and it's yours. What we decided to take today, this is smart. This is Bafnut, this is the car, and that's where the car was located. You actually can find it on the GPS. What you need to remember about Russia and Moscow before we start the drive. First of all, Russia is the right side driving country. So first you need to look to the left, after it to the right. Always buckle up, because cops will stop you if you're not buckled. And done. Yeah. So here we go.
Moscow, the capital of the Russian Federation. The United Nations has published its global cities ranking for 2022 and has awarded Moscow the top spot among large cities for quality of life and infrastructure, commending the metropolis for its transportation and its citizens' well-being. Around 20 million people officially live in the Russian capital and its surrounding region.
What I like about Moscow, I think, has the worst traffic jams in the world. Absolutely. Everything is standing here just from the beginning of the traffic light till the end to Belarusian railway. Everything is absolutely stalled. God damn it. So, from my point of view, Moscow has #1 rating in the most awful traffic jams in the world. Even worse than in Hanoi, even worse than in Mumbai or Delhi. The worst, honestly. The main difference between Mumbai and Moscow, from my point of view, is that the drivers are more disciplined, therefore. They're kind of more disciplined, right?
The Russian capital came out first in terms of quality of life and infrastructure development and was third overall in the City Prosperity Index, which considered all the categories together. The first and second spots were taken by Singapore and Toronto respectively, and the fourth and fifth by Sydney and London. Some estimates suggest the real figure is substantially higher.
The center of Moscow. This is Tverskaya Street. So the street goes directly to Kremlin, and it connects the north regions of Moscow, North District, with the downtown. So let's go through it.
Just guess which city became the world rankings first in 2023, topping the world's most developed metropolises. Check your knowledge without Googling and leave your opinion in the comments below.
Moscow is famous for small lanes, and one of these lanes, which is leading to so-called Patriarchy lakes or Patriarchy puddles, are located straight ahead. Moreover, it is customary to let the pedestrians cross the streets even if they're breaking the law, so if they're not using the pedestrian lanes. And this is real Moscow. The center of Moscow, right? The downtown of Moscow.
Just giving you a hint, Moscow disappeared from the list of the cities, giving the places to London, Paris, New York and Tokyo. Fantastic double standards policy. Well, what to expect from the axis of evil? So, Moscow. From the point of driving, Moscow has the hugest ever traffic jams I have ever experienced in my life. My subjective position is that traffic in Moscow is even worse than in Jakarta, Hanoi, or New Delhi in India. However, this is my subjective evaluation. Before you start the driving, check that you have international driving license. To acquire it, you should consult with your local traffic police. Ideally, it must be legalized or notarized and translated into Russian.
So guys, 80% of video is connected with standing in the traffic jams. Despite the fact that today is Sunday, traffic is awful. You see it.
If you're planning to stay in Russia for more than 6 months, you must obtain a Russian driving license. Check your embassy regulations and get necessary information about driving in Russia before going there. Very important information. Russia operates zero tolerance of alcohol before driving. Never drink and drive in Russia, even a half pint of a beer. If you get caught drunk by the traffic police, the punishments will be severe, including jail detention, driving license suspension up to 3 years, and car tagging to penalty parking area. My humble recommendation is, do not play Russian roulette with the traffic police. They will start the pursuit and may use the weapons if you will not obey. Also, the traffic police may stop you and check your license and car documentation even if you didn't violate the traffic law, thus be prepared for it. Each car, according to the Russian legislation, must be insured. Keep the insurance certificate in your glove box, and each car must be equipped with a fire extinguisher, first aid kit, and warning triangle. In case of accident, you must inform local traffic police and get a copy of a police record. Otherwise, the insurance company will not cover the damage you or the other party caused. Quite convenient from my point of view. The road cameras are located everywhere in Moscow, and your speeding, illegal lanes crossing, solid lines crossing, pedestrian lanes parking, and even cell phone usage and unbuckled driving will be captured, recorded, and sent to you or your car rental agent via post and email.
Even when I knew I never could, know that I can't find nobody else as good as you. I need you to stay,
If you park your car illegally in Moscow, be prepared that it may be tagged to penalty parking area with a corresponding ticket. Green evacuation trucks are operating all over the city and do not make any privileges for the violators. Even 5 minutes parking may cost you approximately $150, excluding tagging fee, and 6-8 hours of brain-exploding, time-losing, amazing experience finding your car somewhere on the random penalty parking. Another remark is that children under 12 years old are not allowed to travel on the front seat, and children below 6 must use a special seat at the back row. Thus, do not play superhero with the Russian police and follow the traffic rules. It is a must. The obvious first recommendation is to download Google or Yandex Maps for easier navigation. The latter one is more detailed and convenient for driving in Russia and CIS countries. What you need to be prepared for if you want to drive in Moscow. Number 1. The roads are getting extremely congested during working days, especially during the rush hours, since 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. and since 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. Roads will be packed up. Traffic jams are also frequent during the weekends and day offs, so Moscow is a constant traffic jam. Take as much patience with you as you can. Parking areas in Moscow are labeled with a parking sign, and most of them are paid. Tariffs are different depending on the district you're in. For instance, in central areas, it may cost up to 450 rubles per hour. You can pay for parking using e-payments, cell phone applications, or SMS.
When I ask about it,
Sometimes the lights are not vividly seen due to the temperature and weather, therefore the road paint may vanish. Though local drivers are used to this and will keep a sideways distance as if there were market lanes. Always respect the traffic lights. It is a severe violation of a traffic code in Russia. The lights usually change rather quickly, and the cars in the other direction will get moving instantly when they get a green light, whether or not there are still other cars in the intersection. Pedestrians often boldly walk across zebra crossing even if there are no oncoming cars. On the other hand, cars in Moscow usually respect pedestrians, and if a person makes a step forward to zebra or walking over the lane, you will have to stop. When you need to change the lane or driving a roundabout, use the blinkers. It is different from most European countries. Always check the priority signs because sometimes the roundabouts do not presume priority drive. Always check the right-hand interference. You will have to let the vehicle driving on the right if you have equal intersections. Another peculiarity of driving in Moscow is that drivers can cut you sometimes. Be patient about it. Usually, it's not customary to start a conflict on the roads, but it may happen. Other drivers might act aggressively. In this case, you should call the police without exiting the car. About the speed limits. In Russia, it is possible to violate the speed limit up to 20 km per hour. The camera will send you the letter if your speed limit exceeding 20. And the traffic police may stop you if you're exceeding the limit over 9 km per hour. Inside the city, the limit is 60 km per hour. On some roads, it is possible to drive 80, Moscow Circle Road 100, and on the highways 110, 120 km. I personally saw 130 km per hour on the roads with a special limit signs. Outside the city, in Moscow region, it is possible to drive 90 between the towns and 50 within the towns. Thus, what are the advantages and disadvantages of driving in Moscow? Advantages. Number 1. Relatively safe for novice drivers, but always be prepared for some unpredictable moves from the other traffic participants. 2. A lot of parking slots, but most of them are hourly paid and it is hard to find the free slot on the streets. 3. Easy to rent a car with all the legal documentation and equipment. 4. Mostly excellent roads and pavements. 5. A lot of routes to explore and many sightseeing spots to see. 6. Picturesque views and broad roads. Disadvantages. Top 1 disadvantage is traffic jams. These are really annoying. If you haven't driven in Moscow, you really don't know how to drive. I bet you will excuse my snobism. Number 2. Inconvenient traffic lights. Fast to switch and long time waiting for a green light. Number 3. Hard to find free parking slots on the city streets. Almost all convenient places are usually occupied. The parking in residential areas are usually blocked with a barrier gates open for dwellers only. Parking may cost you a fortune. Number 4. Easy to get lost without using local navigation apps. Number 5. It is easier, way cheaper, and more convenient to use municipal transport. It is extremely developed here. It includes taxis, underground and on-ground trains, buses, trams, and even river shuttle ships.
Calling some last of all when the lights fade out. all the sinners crawl, so they dug your grave in the masquerade, looking, calling out at the mess you made. Don't wanna let you down, but I am hellbound. Oh, this is all for you. Don't wanna hide the truth. No matter what we breed, we still are made of greed. This is my kingdom come. This is my kingdom come. When you feel my heat, look into my eyes. It's where my demons hide. It's where my demons hide. Don't get too close. It's dark inside. It's where my demons hide. It's where my demons hide. It's what you made. Faith woven in my soul. Need to let you go. I say shine so bright. Into space now. But you show me how. When you feel my heat. When my demons hide. When my demons hide. Don't too close. When my demons hide. When my demons hide.
So is it safe to drive in Moscow? Yes, of course. But you have seen everything by yourself. First of all, awful traffic jams, absolutely annoying traffic lights, no parking slots, and that's it. So it's up to you to choose. By the way, breaking the stereotypes about Russian capital. We have no bears here. Probably if you want to see one, you can go to the zoo. But it's enough for today, comrades. Put like, subscribe, or whatever bloggers say. No passerelle. Enemy shall not pass. Victory will be ours.